Shannon, did Harden help his image last night?
Absolutely. That second quarter, because everybody's going to say, well, he only had like 6 points in the second half. He only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter. But without his second quarter, the fourth quarter does not even matter. He had those 2 threes, Skip, and then he had that monster flush that energized it. And remember, Skip, he played some great defense on KD in that sequence. He picked his pockets clean at the top of the key. He got a deflection, Grit to lay the ball up. They came, he dished it off to Chris Paul and got him going. Now, Chris Paul tagged along, but James Harden had 15 points. He had 24 first-half points. He only had 30. I get it. But you know what happened. They were down 9 to start the second quarter. If James Harden doesn't do what he does, that thing's about to get ugly. Like it got in game 3 when they ended up losing by 41. James Harden said, nah, not today. He said, y'all done, castigated say all these bad things about me, Skip. Got people thinking I can't play, I don't show up in big games. Well, let me show you what I'm going to do. We got to stop this narrative. No, we don't have to. You got to stop the narrative that says, okay, well, he didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. Well, sometimes there are things that lead up to that. Because if you don't do certain things, you're not going to be in position. The fourth quarter is not going to matter. James Harden had a tremendous first half, awesome second quarter, which allowed them. Now, I thought they were out of it again come third quarter time because Golden State go on another run. But, Skip, I think James Harden changed because if he'd have came up small again, that would have been real bad. He's still trying to dig out that avalanche that he got himself up on in Game 6 at home against the San Antonio Spurs. But last night will go a long way into rehabilitating that image. I thought he played. Did he play great? No. But I thought that second quarter in the first half allowed them to be close enough where they had to lead it to start the third, but put them in position, Skip Bayless, for them to do what they did. James Harden was phenomenal in the first half, and he did well.
I will give you only one point that you just made, and it was your first point. You called it the monster flush, the posterizing of one Draymond Green. It was a spectacular, resounding statement that James Harden made for his basketball team because his bench flew off the bench. They were all just spinning with joy because it was shocking. I didn't know James Harden had that in him because he is a finesse driver of the basketball.
James Harden didn't know he had that in him.
It just happened, and it happened right in Draymond's face. And I thought Draymond had drawn a bead on getting a hand on ball, and he whiffed. He airballed the ball, and the ball got slammed right in his kisser. And it was so spectacular that I think it resounded through the rest of the game. I think it ignited the Rockets to play defense the rest of the game. It showed them we got a guy who can match any spectacular thing Steph or KD do the rest of the game. Nobody can top that. That was the play of the night, and it was the statement play of the night. Now, I disregard all what you talked about in the first 3 quarters because in the fourth quarter, that play, that Game 6, James showed up, that versus San Antonio, the James Harden who went missing in Game 6 without Kawhi Leonard or Tony Parker playing for the Spurs. And I don't even want to go because I'd be piling on to even dredge up the stats of that game. But I am going to dredge up the stats of last night's fourth quarter because that was, quote-unquote, playoff James, as in, quote-unquote, way off James. Because do you realize James Harden in the fourth quarter last night had 0 assists? Do you realize he got to the free throw line 0 times? That's James Harden, who leads the league in free throw shooting, right, in attempts. He goes 1 for 4 from the field for 2 total points in the fourth quarter. He misses all 3 threes, including what would have iced the game that led to the Kevin Durant blunder at the end of the game, but he could have just slammed the door shut. There would have been no Kevin play that would have mattered after that with 15 seconds left.
But it had to happen because I needed to expose your argument.
Okay, so you got your wish. But the point is that guy just disappeared, and that guy got saved by the least likely rescuer, by Chris Paul III, as I used to call him, CP0, as in 0 rings, and this is obviously his first ever conference finals. But I applaud him. I have nothing but respect today for CP3 because he stood tall in the fourth quarter. He played unbelievable on both ends of the floor, and he made so many statement shots in the fourth quarter.
That 3 in Clay's face, that story that was huge.
That was huge. But how about this? Livingston dunks, and all of a sudden they're up 12, 10:45 to go, and I told you earlier in the show, I would have called you then and made it
Double.
10. No, not double. I would have bet you 10 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that Golden State would close that deal. What happened? Chris Paul went right back down the floor and made a 17-foot jump shot. And it was like, no, we're not going to go away just yet. And then he makes a 12-foot pull-up about 2 minutes later, and that cut it back to 5. And you're saying, uh-oh, they're not going away. Then he makes that bomb shot that you talked to, 7:17 left, and then he feeds Ariza for the 3, remember, on the wing.
Yes.
That was Chris Paul getting in the lane and kicking it out. And Ariza makes the 3 that gives Houston its first lead in the fourth quarter. And I'm sitting back saying, this is happening. You could just see the body language of the Warriors. They look dead in the water.
And that one
shell shock.
Remember, he got in the lane and leaned in on Loney and put a one-handed, like 8-footer up in the back.
That was another one.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. The Rockets scored 50. They had 53 first-half points. James Harden had 24 of those.
Okay.
So without James Harden, you're not even in this ballgame. If he doesn't have that monster first half, Skip, it's over. They're going to be down 20. You know, if they're down 20, they're not coming back. But the thing that happens, look, when we look at the Golden State Warriors, Skip, because they can shoot the ball so well, we really don't think there's ever a bad shot because we're so accustomed to them taking 30-footers, Steph and Clay, and making them. They had the lead, and they kept trying to go. They kept trying, like you said, they had a 12-point lead, and they tried to keep making it go 15, 18, 21 ball game. And they took some bad shots. Now, we call those bad shots when they don't go in, but those are shots that they're used to taking. They'll take shots quick in the shot clock, especially when Steph, because at one period in the third, Steph gets off 11 points in 95 seconds. So he felt like he had it going. But that's what allowed Houston to stay around because they took some quick shots, some bad shots, and the next thing you know, a 12-point lead is now all of a sudden it's a 5. Chris Paul hits that 3, it's a 2, and the next thing you know, hold on, y'all ain't running high. We still see you. We see your tail lights. So now at 10:45, like you said, you're down 12. The building's going crazy. They're like, hold on, with 3 minutes, we right here. And now all of a sudden, don't nobody want to shoot. Hey, you take a step. Now you take a KD. Here, let's pass this ball to Clay. Now, see, that's what you got to do with them, Skip. If you let Golden State, you let them jokers go running high in that crowd and they start, and no Steph Curry. Man, look here, at some point in time, I wish, you know what, if LeBron James would have ever hit a 3 and start shimmying up the court, man, people will kill him. Steph Curry gets a pass.
I agree with that.
Man, he shimmy it. He looking at his hair like, what happened? Ooh, left hand like a mat. Come on.
I agree.
Yeah, he be out there.
No.
But my guy don't do that. Because you know why? Because he expected. He shoot that ball, he expected to go in. Don't nothing phase him.
You mean your guy who stands under the goal after a and
we're talking about offense.
And he does this?
Yeah. Get off. You know, he like to shake his shoulder. Hold on, Skip. Hold on. What you talking about? Hold on just a second now. I know you ain't talking about no defense. Because you talking about defense because you know Steph ain't playing no D, right?
No, I didn't say he's playing defense. No. But here's what happened. The Golden State Warriors, who've had a whole lot of success, they are now suffering from are we there yet syndrome because they throw a 12-0 shot at them, hit them right in the jaw.
Right.
And it's like, can we rest now? Can we cruise? Can we shift into cruise control? And remember, they did not have Iguodala last night, and I'm not saying that's the reason they lost, but he is big for them because he does play better defense than Livingston plays defense. And they missed his minutes last night. They missed his savvy. They missed his grit, his toughness. They all had to play more minutes because he was out. And then they missed Clay for a while, and then Clay wasn't himself when he came back. And that bears watching because I don't know how bad his knee is strained, but is it possible he's going to miss Game 5? It's possible.
But let me ask you a question, Skip, what is Iguodala going to do about Kevin Durant shooting 9 of 24 and Steph shooting 10 of 26?
I don't know.
I don't know how he helps that. Yeah, okay, maybe he plays better defense on James Harden. Maybe he plays better defense on Chris Paul. But they didn't shoot the ball well. No. They didn't lose because they held them to 94 points.
Yeah.
They normally get 94 by the end of the third quarter.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
What if I told you 24 hours ago, sitting across from me at this table, that tonight in Game 4 at Golden State, James Harden will go 3 of 12 from 3, and Eric Gordon will go 1 of 8 from 3. What would you have told me? You would have said, uh-oh, right?
No, because I picked them to win, remember? I picked them last week.
You would have given me a big uh-oh.
I picked them last week. Remember I picked them, Skip?
Remember, this is the team that got, what do you call it, dirked in the game before. They lost by 41 points. So
that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to set them up, Skip. had them feeling good about themselves, like thought they were going to blow them out again. That's why I picked this
what
game
if I
last
told
week.
you yesterday that James Harden in the fourth quarter would score 2 points with no assists?
Nah,
and no free throws?
I'd have had.
You'd
I'd
said,
had a big
"Well, I
concern.
don't know. I don't know."
I'd have had a big concern.
Right?
I had a big concern.
Yeah.
But Skip, you keep underestimating what James Harden did in the second quarter, because he was phenomenal, Skip.
But what I'm saying is, Golden State goes cruise control, like they get ahead 12-0, and then it's like, we got this. Our fans are rabid. They're the loudest. They're roarical, right?
Right.
And they take it not seriously enough. That you can just see their body language. They're on cruise. They're doing what LeBron does. They're resting. They're resting on offense and defense, and you can't rest against the Rockets.
No.
They're too mentally tough, and I never thought I'd say that about this Rockets team, but Chris Paul and P.J. Tucker and Mbah Moute have made them much physically, mentally tougher than they used to be.
Oh, yeah, Tuck and Ariza. Yeah. But the thing is, no, they kept Mbah Moute on the bench because I think D'Antoni realized, like, no, you costing us the game. Mm-hmm. But, Skip, if I would have told you, I said, okay, the Rockets are going to hold the Warriors to 39% from the field and 33% from the three-point line, you would say, you know what? They got a chance to win this game. Now, in game 3, Skip, they let them shoot 58%, 52%, and 40% from three. You're not beating Golden State doing that.
No.
You're going to let them shoot 50% from the field and 40% from the three-point line? You're not beating Golden State. But you can beat them with this. Now, do you expect them to, KD to shoot another 9 or 24 and Steph to shoot 10 or 26, Clay 4 or 13? Now, if that happens again, the Rockets can beat them again.
Well, Chris Paul better play tall, stand tall.
CP giving it to him.
Not going to put anything on tomorrow night?
You might have to do a little.
You like the Rockets? You need the Rockets. You need them badly.
I don't need nothing.
Trust me, you do.
I just need that. I just need my guy to be healthy.
You do not need Golden State for a fourth time.
I need some rest.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.